Okay, I think we are live. There we go. And hello, everyone. This is the beginning of just a stream I wanted to do. It's December the 22nd, and I know people are buying a lot of tablets, or they have a lot of questions about buying drawing tablets. People are just popping off on Reddit, etc. So I just wanted to make sure I have a chance to talk about some of these questions. I've already notified the Discord crew, so they know I'm on camera now. And you know what's funny is I see 3 different videos of me talking to you in front of my face, and one is off by about half a second. It is really disconcerting. Maybe 3 seconds. It's very disconcerting. So let me turn that off. Okay, and I do have chat on. So if people show up, great. If not, what we'll do is we will just deal with I don't know what the right word is. Chores. Chores means we'll see what questions are on Reddit and answer them. Okay? Let's take a look here. And I've got the chat set up. Oh, we need the music, of course. There we go. There we go. Should not be too loud for you. If it is, just let me know. And let me check my... Okay. Discord is there. I'm in a great mood. Last week was fantastic. And what I've been doing is I've been I really have not been in tremendously good contact with a lot of people since I decided to semi-retire. So in the past week or so, I've been reaching out to people to just touch base with them, just let them, check in with what they're doing. A lot of them are still employed at Microsoft. And I'm just sharing, what's up with me, which is I'm really just enjoying life, doing what I want to do. What did I describe it like? Was I'm watching a lot of movies. I'm streaming a lot, right? And they're always curious what I'm streaming about. So I send them a link to this channel. They're also very surprised when I tell them how many drawing tablets I have. What else did I tell them? Working on just improving my health. I've been exercising more, watching my diet better. So that's another... made some great progress this month, especially in the last week. Hey, One Up Croaker. Let's see, we have an actual... Huion Inspiroi key dial, KD200, $107 versus XP Pen Deco Pro Pen, XP Pen Deco Pro Gen 2. I viewed a Wacom Intuos Pro Medium yesterday and it was in rough shape. Okay, interesting. Well, a couple of thoughts there. Number one, remember that the Intuos Pro 2017 models have a texture sheet. So if it's just the surface that's scratched up, you can get a new texture sheet if you can find one. So that's a possibilities. Good to have you back. Good to have you back. I have to be honest with you. I have not used I live on the TourBox device. So I haven't used these remotes very often. But let me take a look at the KD200. Is it the one that's kind of a hybrid? Here, let me bring it up on my Windows machine here. No, don't apologize for the questions. That is why I'm here. Let's see who you're on. Oh, this thing. Yeah. Let's take a look at it. Let's show everyone what we got here. Let's try this. I've always wondered about this, honestly. Why can't I see this correctly? Come on. I'm trying to zoom in, but look at this. Look at this UI. What? Okay, at least we see what it is. I can't zoom in because of Huion's website. I'm very curious. Let me give you my initial reaction. I think it looks. I mean, it looks weirdly cool. That's the first thing. I think the thing that weirds me out about it is I could totally believe that on the left side there should be a lot of buttons, right? I'm just not sure how to deal with it because it's actually trying to be a keyboard. Right, like, I like my Tourbox. If this had more things dedicated for drawing, more dials, more, So that being said, I am curious how this will actually work. If you're not going to type on it normally, meaning you're not going to, do email with it, but you were just using it for drawing. It's intriguing. One Up Croker, are you on the Discord? I'm nervous about this only because it's such a specialized device. And because I don't use the keyboard and I rely on shortcut keys to be with the Tourbox, meaning I don't have to look at anything and just do it by feel. I think it would be odd for me to adapt to this. Yeah, for hotkeys. So I'm curious about it. I'm not sure if I would do it. Like if I had to get this, if I was already a keyboard shortcut person, it might be worth it. Okay, good. I just like to make people on the Discord because, I only have one perspective, but the people on the Discord come from so many different backgrounds. This comes with the PW517 pen, is that right, Croker? Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the specs. So this goes to part 2 of my sort of feedback, which is, where's the pen? PW517, which means it'll work with the PW550 series as well. If I was more of a keyboard shortcut user, I'll probably get, let me put this in my notes. I will get this sometime this year just to try it out. Because I do like unusual tablets. I really do, and this is an unusual tablet. Oh, the other thing that goes into my mind is, when is Huion going to introduce PW600 series pens, right? I am new, I'm learning digital art, and I'm using my keyboard currently with an XP Pen Deco 01V3. Got it. So, okay, it makes sense. Are you enjoying the Deco 1V3? One Up Croker? Let me get my notes here under Steam. Where are my show notes? Oh, there they are. Okay, today's the 22nd. This is my shopping stream. I meant to do it in the morning, but just had things to do this morning. Holiday shopping stream. Okay. What was the other one Croker mentioned? The Deco Pro Gen 2. Well, I'll say this. Definitely the Deco Pro Gen 2 is better than the Deco 01V3. I think that is clear. Yeah, the pen pressure is not great. If I remember, because I have the V1 and the V2, sorry, the V2 and the V3, I found it had a high IAF. In fact, that's one of my follow-ups today, is I promised, maybe it was you, maybe it was somebody, follow-up, which is measure the Deco 01, V2, V3 pens for IAF. Now, I'm not good at IAF, but the last time I messed around with the pens here, I thought they had a high IAF. When I say high, I mean above 5 gram force, which is a lot. In fact, in my mind, I remember it as like 10. So I'll double check. I only have 2 of those pens, but I'm willing to check. So I'll do that after this session. Let's see, we have someone who joined here. It was only $50 Canadian, so I can't complain. Okay, yeah, there's nothing. Makes sense. Goniochromists. Hello, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, and thanks for joining the stream. Feel free to ask anything or chat about anything. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm having a great day. Okay, so you notice the pen is terrible? That doesn't surprise me. Someone on the Discord last night said that they had read the pen had a 30-gram force IAF, and I think a couple of us were like, there's no way it could be that high. I mean, actually, let me back up. Let me tell you where the story went. I said that seems highly irregular. I would guess at like 15-gram force. However, Cube raised a really interesting point, which is these older style pens detect pressure a little differently, okay? And I'll try to explain it like this. Okay, this is gonna look weird. So let's just get the uncomfortable weirdness out of the way, okay? So my hand is trying to be a cylinder. I don't have a cylinder around, but the older nibs fit into this, and it's actually a ferrite rod, okay? And there's a hole in the ferrite rod, and the nib sticks there, like it's shaped so it sticks in there, okay? Now the ferrite rod behind it is a spring, so as you press down on the paper, right, it hits against the spring, provides force. And then around this ferrite rod is a coil, an inductor coil. And so as the ferrite rod, which is kind of, what do you call it? Some kind of magnet, or some kind of magnetic something. As it moves through the coil, it changes something, and that's detectable as a voltage change or whatever. And that's how pen's pressure is detected. Okay, now the reason I tell you all of that is that method, the sensitivity of the pen's pressure can be tuned. And in these older style pens, there's usually a little, I'm going to use language that is not perfect because number one, I'm not an expert. And number two, I have to communicate to an audience, which may not know these words. There's a little small disc and it has a little groove in it, like a little, just a line through it. And that disc is, I guess, we're connected to a potentiometer. What that is, who knows? But that groove is for like a small screwdriver. You can rotate it slightly and it'll change the frequency that's being used by the pen. Now, some people can tune the initial activation force of their pens. Now, I'm not saying you can reduce it to like Wacom levels, but if it's crazy high, you might be able to reduce it to something better. Okay, because sometimes those things shift over time. The other thing is sometimes you notice pens draw when you're not touching the surface, they're hovering. Again, this applies to old pens. You can change it in one direction where you're essentially, it's oversensitive. So you change it in a direction so it's less sensitive and you can remove that. Again, it only applies to these older, not older pens, but pens that use older tech. Okay, in fact, let me do a follow-up on this because I've always wanted to try this on changing IAF with potentiometer of older pens. So I'll try it with that same Deco 01 V2 pen. Let me write that down. Because at least I'll do the measurements first. Deco 01 V2 pens. Or V3. Let's see. Goniochromis says, I've been using PTH 851 for 10 years. Nice. I'm close to being a pro now. I'm thinking about upgrading. I was eyeing the Camus Pro 24 and Gen 3. Well, there's two things going on in Goniochromis. Okay, and I'm actually going to write a special page for you. I actually do have to write a document on this, but I just want to write down something very special because let me write down Gonio Chromist. Okay, so let me make this a bit bigger for you. Okay. So I want to make sure you see what I'm writing here, and it is important. Okay, so Goniochromist is now talking about has a PTH 851. Okay, and he's considering a what is it? Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. Okay, which I have. In fact, it's right in front of me, believe it or not. Okay. So this is an interesting case because there's two transitions going on, right? Or several. One is brand, right? Wacom to Huion. You're considering that. The second is you're changing just like you're changing pens, and pens are what drives pressure performance, right? You're going from a probably KP501E to a PW600 series pen, okay? And so the brand, and you're changing drivers, of course, again, which is Wacom to Huion. So here's the catch. Whenever you're changing from Wacom, especially a Pro Wacom, the thing you have to realize is that the KP501E pen that you're using is super sensitive. And the PW600 pen, according to the best measurer on the planet, which is Cube, doesn't have as low IAF as the Wacom. So keep that in mind. I generally think whenever someone has a Wacom professional pen and they're using it, you gotta be real careful about that next decision. Because if you're used to the low IAF of the Wacom Pro pen, you might be disturbed even at the low AF of the PW600 pen because it isn't as low. Okay, so keep that in mind. The other thing that you're changing is you're changing the type. You're going from pen tablet to pen display. So the thing I'd say there is, I'm not sure. Yeah, you're asking the right question, which is you're not sure you're going to prefer one. Let me share a document. You might have seen it, Goniochromist, which is called Pen Tablet. And I'd just like you to think about it. Maybe it'll help. It's called Pen Tablets versus Pen Displays. Maybe it'll help you sort of evaluate before you buy it. The other thing is try a device if you can. I know it's almost impossible sometimes, but see if you can try. Yeah, we'll see one up. Well, let me do my measurements today and I'll do some experimentation. Otherwise, you feel like an Intuos Pro Large would be a significant improvement over the PT. Let me ask a question. And I'll write this down as well, because this is another transition, right? Right? So you're keeping the brand the same. And I'm being more structured here because you're keeping the drivers the same. You're keeping the pen tablet the same. Pens was going for this to ACP 500, which is the Pro Pen 3. And then you're doing the tablet is changing from PTH 851 to PTK 870. I assume you want the large. I do think the question I'd have for you is, honestly, first of all, are you using the touch feature? Because the new tablet does not have that. Second, what is it you're not liking about your current tablet? Because I'm not sure you will feel that the 8.7, the new Intuos Pro 2025, is giving you anything. So I'll wait to hear from you, but that is what I'm really curious about. I was thinking about the new Cintiqs too, but the lack of VESA mount, I think they have VESA mounts. Goniochromis than use Cintiqs. Let me double check. Cintiq 16. I'm very sure the 24 does because I mounted it to something with the VESA mount. But let's take a look, okay? Let's take a look. I just need to see the back of it. What are the specs? Come on. Okay, it's not sure. Give me a second. I'll be right back because it's right over on my desk. So I'll verify if both of them are VESA mountable. So I'll be right back. I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, I can confirm with you that, in fact, both the Cintiq 16 2025 edition and the Cintiq 24 2025 edition both are VESA mountable. They're over on my desk over there. I went behind them. Clearly, the Cintiq 16 2025 has VESA mounting holes. Clearly, the Cintiq 24 2025 has VESA mounting holes. In fact, the 2025 is mounted to something using the VESA. So I just want to make sure you do know that. Now, since you mentioned you don't want to hunch over, I totally get it. You may want to think about if you're going to use an ARM. All ARMs wobble a little bit, so I often will put the lower edge of the tablet on my desk or on some object that's on my desk to minimize the wobbling. Just want to make sure you knew that. Some people, there is no arm that can hold a tablet completely still. There's just, I guess all the mechanical forces are just not really acting. It'll want to move. It'll want to wobble a little bit. One of Croker, are people enjoying digital art more with the screen tablet over a screenless tablet? It depends on the person. I wish I could say there was one answer. The truth is, it just depends on the person. There are people like me, and remember, I have 107 tablets, and I have a lot of each, okay? Even though I have a lot of display tablets, and there's one right in front of me, 90% of the time, I prefer a pen tablet, okay? Because I don't like being hunched over. I don't like, as they call it, shrimping, okay? Like a shrimp is like curled over. If I had to guess, honestly, I would say, first of all, let's just talk about pen tablets. I think 80% of people can adjust to a pen tablet like that, like the second they get one. Another 10% takes them a week or a few days or maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month. Somewhere in there, and then the remaining 10%, they just cannot do it. I mean, like it's impossible for them to use a pen tablet. They don't adjust to it. Brad Coleman's a great example. I don't know if he hates it, but like he finds it very difficult. He says to use a pen tablet. He only wants to use a pen display. So people are like that. Okay. Now, in terms of how popular they are, we don't know. I mean, either. For consumers, we don't know, and professionals, we don't know. We can just say this. Both consumers and professionals use pen tablets and pen displays, and they're both capable of doing great work. Okay. So there are some people who enjoy pen tablet more. I'm one of them. And I only use a pen display when I need to. And there's some people who just absolutely prefer a pen display. Yeah, that's the right fear, Croker, because like people never realize what it's like to get a screen tablet. Now, one thing, here's a good thing for you, okay? Let's suppose, so I'll give you an example. I have a Goniochromist that has a PTH8, it's a Wacom. And maybe he wants to get a Wacom pen display. Well, if both of them are new enough, the same driver will work on both, right? So it's not like an either or, as long as the tablets are both sort of in the same era. So in fact, lots of my machines have a pen tablet and a pen display attached. So I can just use whichever one. I can swap whenever I want. In a moment's notice, I can just move the pen to the other thing and use it. So you don't have to give one up. But having said that, both the tablets have to be sort of in the same era. Goniochromist says, I'm not disliking anything about the old tablet. The new Pen 3 and larger seems cool. Don't upgrade. I know it sounds crazy when I say this. Don't upgrade. I'm telling that to everybody. It's not because the new ones aren't good. It's just that they're not. If you're happy with what you have, the new ones aren't going to give you some special feature. The pens don't work really any better. Sure, you might like the way the surface feels a little better. You might like, I don't know, the buttons better or worse. Who knows? But there's nothing so compelling about it. In your case, Goniochromist, I would absolutely say, do not upgrade unless you've had a chance to use one for, I don't know, and just draw something for real, like not just for 5 minutes. Draw something for an hour or two, or just do something and then make up the mind. Because upgrading for someone like you is all risk, okay? All an upgrade does is create risk because you're happy, and a change from happiness implies the possibility of unhappiness, okay? Not to get too abstract about this, but it's not like there's a list of things the new model is going to fix for you. There really isn't. So for everyone, I've been talking about this with people who own the Intuos Pro 2017 model. The upgrade is not worth it for the 2025 model. And part of that is because there's not really a big improvement. And part of that is lots of people they really don't like the bezels, and they really don't like the placement of the buttons on top. So for a lot of people who have an existing Intuos Pro, the new Intuos Pro 2025, it's not just a risk. They do not like it. They absolutely hate it. So yeah, I wouldn't bother, at least don't rush it. Spend your time. And the good news is Wacom is not going to release another professional pen tablet for years. Remember, they go like 7, 8, 9, 10 years between releasing new models for Pro tablets. So it's not like you've got time on your side, okay? You've absolutely got time on your side. Let's see. Croker says, less mistakes on screen tablet. Yes. Now, here's what people have told me. I believe it myself. I experience it myself. People say, and I agree, you have to press undo less with this pen display. And as a result of that, it's faster. Also, kind of related, you sort of get your stroke right the first time more often, because guess what? You can see where the stroke is going, right? So I know a couple of people do not hate when I say that because they don't feel that. But, definitely a lot of people do. Definitely a lot of people feel that way. So I would say that's a very common thing people say. Now, what I am trying to do is create a test, meaning like an exercise, which is something I'm going to ask people to do all it is drawing lines and circles. Okay, it's nothing like it's not like a school test. And I'm going to ask people to draw certain simple shapes with a pen tablet and and you can't use undo. Okay, and then I'm going to have them give me the what they drew. Again, it's just a bunch of lines and triangles. This is nothing and circles. And then we're going to ask them to self-evaluate if doing a pen tablet, if they were more accurate. Okay? That's it. That's what we're going to do. Is like, were they able to draw the shape more cleanly, more accurately, and connect the lines better. So we'll talk about beginning and ending in the same place. We'll talk about just straight lines. We'll talk about curved lines. We'll talk about just trying to randomly draw a triangle, like that's perfect, versus tracing a triangle. And so we'll ask them to show the results, explain what they thought, and then we will evaluate their drawing results, and then we'll see, is it true? Okay, is it true? Let's see, go in your Chromist. Maybe I'll try display pattern or two. Yeah. And since you said return it, people who buy tablets and who want to do returns, they find that's why they buy on like a online seller like Amazon, which makes returns really easy. So just in case you want to know. Are the rumors true about Huion releasing Pentec 4.0 on screenless tablets next year? I haven't heard any rumors, Croker, but I would believe it's true. Let me say it in a different perspective. It needs to be true because right now it is really hard for me to tell. It is really hard for me to tell somebody get a Huion pen tablet because the pen tablets aren't using the same class of pen as the pen display, their latest pen displays. So they need to fix this because it's causing me to I'm telling people, well, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should hold back or wait. So I'm hoping they do that, Croker. I do want to try the Tourbox. It's pricey, but I haven't heard anything bad about them. I will give you two things, or a couple of things from my experience. First of all, I love my Tourbox. It is pricey. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Okay. So let me just tell you. So for one reason that is just crazy, I have 6 Tourboxes. Don't ask me how that's true. Yes, I bought them all with my own money. One day I'll explain the full story why I have 6 Tourboxes. But here's some things you need to know. Okay. I got the Tourbox, and so let's just say in about 9 months, it took me 9 months to use. And let me explain what that means. You will get the most out of it if you learn how to use the software to customize it. So my Tourbox is highly customized to how I use Clip Studio Paint. So I have certain shortcuts in Clip Studio Paint, custom shortcuts. I have customized my Tourbox to work with my shortcuts, okay? So that takes a while to do. Like you have to, trial and error, observe your own workflow, what works, what doesn't, etc. So keep that in mind. But the payoffs are high because it's super optimized for exactly how I draw. Number 2, I have no other way of saying this, but it is really hard if you are used to bringing up the keyboard. If you're used to using keyboard shortcuts like this, it is really hard to retrain your mind to use the Tourbox. Like, it is just hard. It's hard to remember to keep your hand on the Tourbox. It's hard to remember to use it. It's hard to remember to stop touching the keyboard. It takes not only does it take effort to use it, in my mind it hurt. Okay, I don't know there's no other word I have for this. It confused my brain to such an extent that in 9 months, I tried it for a week, gave up on it, couldn't deal with it. Tried it again, gave up on it after a couple of weeks. On my 3rd try, then I was able to finally force myself to use it. So you have to commit to doing it. I'm sure there are people who probably used it immediately and they're like, oh, they're totally fine. But it took training, okay? I gave up twice. It was on my third attempt, then it stuck with me. Now I don't want to draw without it. Okay, so it's worth the effort, but keep in mind you may need to spend some effort. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Croker. It is logically the next step for Huion Pentech 4.0. That's just the way it's got to be. Yeah, it can be a big learning curve. For some people, maybe it isn't, but for me, yes. Literally, even I'd have my hand on the toolbox, and I'd want to like switch tools. My hand would go to the keyboard. The muscles of your hand are trained to go to the keyboard, so you got to fight that urge. You just takes time. It's not easy. Yeah, that's a great idea. If this is if you're getting a toolbox as you're learning digital art, that will help you, because then you don't have other habits you have to break, right? Your hands are probably a little bigger than mine. I think so. There's a Toolbox Mini, which is actually almost as big as the normal Toolbox. I think it does work for adult hands. I'm 6 feet tall, and my hands are not super large, but I think they're just sort of average size for 6 feet tall person, a man. So it works fine for me. I don't feel like I need it to be any bigger. I certainly would not want it any smaller. Okay. You sound like you have a bigger hand or hands. So if you can, again, if you can get a hold of one somewhere, I know they're super rare devices, and there's not like a lot of retail stores that have them. Maybe try looking at the dimensions on the site and finding an object that's close in size and just seeing what it would feel like. Because your hands are going to rest on it, okay? And you'll use multiple fingers. There's like probably, all your fingers will be involved in using it. So it's a good question. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. I'm going to dig into the Reddit to see what people are asking. And let me take a quick look in the Discord. Okay. Nothing too crazy is going on in the Discord. Let's see. We have lots of I'll just answer some of the questions people asked me yesterday. Says, will the anti-glare be at 4K? What is a chance of a lot of anti-glare? And I found it's super distracting. It should be better. Sorry, I know you can't read it. Someone's asking about anti-glare in the Canvas Pro 4K. Better with lower resolutions. Okay. Yeah, this is a very common sentiment, Goniochromist. I would just say this. Remember, the Moving Pad Pro is not it doesn't fulfill all the needs of an iPad for a general purpose device. For example, some apps won't install on it, right? I'm not saying it's a lot, but there's some, because Wacom customized the OS in some way, certain apps from the Play Store will not install. Or I think Tio on Tech pointed out that Facebook authentication didn't work, which doesn't matter unless you use apps that require Facebook authentication. So if you're looking for something to draw with, and that's really what you want to focus on, then I think it's a great choice. It'll certainly feel much more like a PTH 851. But if you want an all around, like, oh, you want good sound, you're gonna watch YouTube videos, it's not the right choice for that. So I always recommend people get the moving pad devices for dedicated drawing tablets, okay? Let's see. Oh, One Up Croker, you asked a great question. I'm glad you asked. Are we worried about the lack of updates for Wacom Pro 14? Well, we were talking about this on the Discord yesterday. Someone pointed out that on the subreddits, someone had asked a question to Wacom, and Wacom had said they are planning on an update for the OS. Now, they have shared nothing since that. They haven't put a timeline. They haven't made a more public statement. So at least that one statement from support is encouraging, but I hesitate to say that we should, put our faith in it, because that was one announcement by somebody. We haven't seen like a blog post or something. I will actually send Wacom a message saying, hey, can you clarify this? Because lots of people are asking. I think they need to. Because it's, well, no one wants to get a device that seems out of date, right? Let's just be honest. But on the other hand, let's just assume they don't for a second. I'm not super panicked about that. I'll tell you why. And separating out security issues. Because again, I think you should use it as a drawing tablet, not as a general purpose tablet. So even if it missed out on some features from Android 16 or whatever, I'm not super concerned because, like, well, I'm using it for drawing, not for anything else. Okay. Gonio Chroma says I'm using the yeah, okay. If you're using it just for drawing, then the Wacom Moving Pad 14. And I actually started writing up some notes on it, by the way, Gonio Chromas, because at some point I'll make a video. Let me share the notes. So these are draft notes, so I'm sure there's probably all sorts of misspellings and weird things in there. Let's paste that in there. You wouldn't get it without updates? Yeah, then let's see what they say. Again, I will send out, let me just write down a message. Send. Where's my, there we go. Follow up. Ask Wacom about OS updates. Okay. Let's see. Croker says, tried the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra and I hate the drawing on it. So much lag and pen is really slippery. So with the Moving Pad Pro 14, I will say there's definitely none of that slipperiness because there's an etched glass surface. Now, the lag didn't seem any different from the Moving Pad compared to the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra, which I also have. Basically, I think we're about as, unless there's something wrong with the tablet, the lag you see in tablets today is the lag we're going to see basically for a long time. Yeah, I like my Samsung Galaxy Tab, but you're right. It's not the best for drawing, but I can tolerate it for like some moments. Like it's okay for whiteboarding. It's okay for maybe some sketching. It's okay for note taking, but for drawing, I would not. It's, you know, just okay. It's decent. Okay, give me a second. Let me check something. That's weird. Okay. Let's see. Okay. And someone posted a link in the Discord, so let me just ask them about it. I might want to share it here. Is this a good video for me to share on the stream? Someone has a video with a review of the MovingPad Pro 14. The review is in Japanese, so you'll have to translate it using Google's captions. Oh, Tio is here. Wow. What? Hang on, Tio. Let me see if MovingPad Pro 14 is even more slippery than S Pen. Because the S Pen has this. Okay, let's see if we can thread the needle on this. If we all agree, I think, that the iPad is slippery because the glass is not etched, and the pen has just got this, I don't know, plastic tip, right? Drawing on the Samsung S with the S Pen shouldn't feel slippery because the S Pen has a rubber tip. So I agree with you there. If you drew on it with a plastic tip, it should feel slippery because it is just straight glossy glass. What do you call it? I'm looking for a pen here, but I don't have. Oh, I do have a pen here. I'll use this as a simulation. So I have a Samsung S24 Ultra, and like with this, this is a Huion pen. It's still slippery, right? Because it's plastic. Now it wouldn't feel slippery on the MovingPad. You detect some friction because of the etched glass. So I would say using the pen that they came with, both the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 and the MovingPad Pro 14 aren't slippery. But if you have to use the right pen, right? So let's see, one up. It's decent, but for 1,700 Canadian, I was expecting more. I will say this, the Samsung Tab S11 Ultra I think it's more powerful than, it seems like to me, it's more powerful than the MovingPad Pro 14. Also, what's the right word here? I like the fingerprint sensor because I just like that it unlocks very nicely with that fingerprint sensor. I wish the MovingPad Pro 14 had that. Almost all pens on matte glass are noticeably smoother compared to the same pen. Yes, Tio, I agree with you. But let me be clear. Let me just reread this for a second. Almost all pens on matte glass are noticeably smoother compared to matte screen. When you say matte screen protector, you're talking about another plastic film on top of the glass, right? I can believe this, but I don't think I've actually tried it out so much because I don't have that many devices with a screen protector on them. So I just haven't tried that out. But I will. Let me just put that as a follow-up in my show notes. Let me copy Tio's comment here. Copy text. Oh, I hate when it does that. There we go. Christian Grant, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. What tablet am I using right now for actual drawing? I am using the Intuos Pro 2025 Large and the Cintiq 16 2025. For in front of me on this desk, which is my live streaming desk, I have the Huion Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. But I'm still testing it. I'm not really using it like normal yet. After trying the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra, I really think I want to stick with the screenless pen tablet for this strong. Yeah, look, if you're happy with the way the screenless works, then stick with it. I will always tell people not to buy things as opposed to buying things. There always should be a compelling reason to buy something. And if you're happy with what you have and it's not giving you problems, stick with it. Okay, let's see what else we got. I know there were people who have... Okay, I don't think I got this person. I don't think I helped this person. Oh no, that wasn't the question. Nowadays, most pens are smooth on drawing, like iPad, but they aren't considered slippery. I've used those that are 1010 slippery, and those are really... Tio, do you think that the current Apple iPad, without the nano texture, plus the Apple Pencil, is slippery or not slippery? Because I find it slippery. I find it very slippery. Like, it's hard for me to maintain a line because it just kind of dances around. Now, maybe it's the way I'm holding it. So that's why I always describe drawing on an iPad as slippery. Let's see. This person, I'm not sure if I helped this. No, I did. Okay. I think I did a good job trying to help those people. Let's take a look at some other Reddit questions on our Wacom. I don't use ZBrush, so it's going to be hard for me to help that person. I look when people don't have question or answers. I'm going to take a look at this one later. Let's see. Oh, someone has a wish list for MovingPad Pro for the 2nd gen. Let's see what they say. Okay, this person wants high quality speakers. Oh, you can't see it so clearly, so let's magnify it. This person wants high quality speakers. Okay, not my priority, but I get it. Waterproofing. I don't use it. I wouldn't advise using it, water, but I can see why people would want this. Like it's raining or something. LTE version. Yeah. Hadn't thought about that one. I'd really like this. This is a dream list for sure. I'd really like it to support Windows or Linux. I don't think that will ever happen, but just in that. But I do like. I mean, look. I think everyone would like a 2-in-1 laptop, like a Surface Pro. If the Surface Pro, for example, had a drawing experience like the MovingPad Pro 14, that would be amazing. Who wouldn't want that? No fans. I'm right there with you. I love silence. The best processor available. Sure. No, I have no problem with that. I don't think we need better processors overall, though. I feel like we're in a good space right now. System updates, yes. I think that is very important. A slightly more squarish device. I would agree with that. I would agree with... what is the MovingPad Pro 14 is what, 16 by 10? I would agree. I'd like something a little more like an iPad. Somewhere between 1610, which is the current size, and 4.3. Yeah. Audio jack, again, not my thing, but I can see why people want it. A second USB-C port. He doesn't say why, but I'm guessing for power, which is what I would guess. I want not a second USB-C port, but the current port to become a USB 4 port, okay? And also to support DisplayPort in and out. So where is the sweet spot for buying a screenless tablet? Okay, so here's what I would say. The brands, the tablets we have coming from XP Pen and Huion are getting pretty good. Right now, I would say a good sweet spot, honestly, is something like an XP. I mean, if you don't want to go Wacom, something like an XP Pen Deco Pro Gen 2. Notice I said Gen 2 is great because you get two pens That's fantastic. I cannot tell you how valuable that is. And you get a pretty good drawing experience. Now, the challenge is with Huion, because they don't have those PW600 pens yet. I think we need Huion to have some models, like the next version of the Giana, which is their large tablet, with the new PW600 pen, and then I'd say those models would be in the sweet spot. Yeah, so that, unfortunately right now, the sweet spot for pen tablets is very constrained, because besides Wacom, we just have XP Pen. Now, you could consider Sense Labs, but they're not a big brand, right? And I don't think enough people have an experience with them for me to say, okay, here's the community's understanding of how well they're working. My experience has been pretty good, right? But the problem with them is the reason they're not in the sweet spot is their prices are more like Wacom, so they kind of push out from that sweet spot. So a Deco Pro Gen 2 XLW is what, $200? So that's $200 gives you one of the I think it may be the largest pen tablet with a pretty good drawing experience, and you get 2 pens, which again is a huge value. Okay, I'm gonna need to get some water, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Where do I buy an XP Pen Huion for half the cost? Can you remind me what you're using right now, One Up Croker? You're using the Deco 01 V3. Check eBay. Also, are you like a computer guy? Because another alternative, if you know how to use Open Tablet Driver, is to get like a really old Wacom, right? But you have to be kind of technically good and comfortable with tech to set it up. And then you can get one for a lot less, right? XG Pen Deco Gen 2 is about 180. Is that the Deco Pro or the Deco? Okay, Deco Pro, got it for 180 Canadian. Yeah, it's a good tablet. I also the XLW is that, which size is that? Because I use the XLW, which is crazy large. The I think there's an LW, which is a much more reasonable size for people. That should be less. Okay, let's take a look at what else we got here. Oh yeah, now someone had this video. I'm gonna share it. We're not gonna watch it. I just want to make sure people see it. It's in Japanese, so you're gonna have to translate it when you get a chance using Google's closed captions. But it's a 40-minute video on the MovingPad Pro 14, and this morning it's been in the Discord discussed quite a bit. So let's paste this. Oops, that's the wrong link. I want the link to the YouTube video. Hang on. This is the video. Copy. That's for the large size? Okay, got it. Well, that large size is crazy, right? So, like, the XLW is large is a good size. Large is a good size. Paste. There we go. That's right. Yeah, XLW is, it's nuts. It is nuts. I'm going to put this in my follow-up list as well for things to watch tonight. I'm glad that we're having Christmas coming up because it allows me to catch up on a bunch of things I need to do. There's many little videos I need to watch or things I need to write. I gotta prep to launch my new YouTube channel, which I'm still having doubts about the names. I'm looking now at here. Let me just try this out for size for you. Since it is about communication, something about like I think the current thing I'm thinking about is wordless, and that is actually a play on words for something that I actually say or said at work. Which is sometimes people would, or less words. That's actually something I said to people at work. People would write something and I'd look at them and say, less words. And then of course they would then tell me, oh, that's not correct English. And then I would tell them, well, actually, I would point them to the Dictionary of English Usage and say, take a look at this entry, which is in fact the earliest recorded usage or something of this phrase. And you know what the example is? Oh, sorry, I misspoke that. It's not the earliest recorded usage. It's like the first example given in the Dictionary of English Usage is less words. And I said, well, I love words, and I wanted to again do a channel on communication, both technical communication. Maybe less words is a good. Let me just check if that's used, because it's incorrect, so to speak, English. Now I'm an amateur linguist. I actually did study it in college. You know, had a minor, I guess you could say in it. Let's just find out. Less words. Is that a real thing? Yeah, it's not. Let's see if I can actually. Less words. Less words. Someone actually had a channel called Less Words. So, can't use that as the. That was an idea. That was an idea. Less words. So I'll just write that down. That's taken. Taken. Wordless was the other option. That's why I came onto this. Anyway, let's get back to helping people with their tablets. Who is struggling here? Oh, this is quite nice. This person doesn't seem to have drawn in quite a bit. It's our first time using, in 3 years, drawing something, and it looks great. I love this. It deserves an up vote. I'm gonna just... Okay, this person did find... Because they were just looking for a pen. Okay, let's take a look at our Huion. This person has 2 Huions now. I think I'll just follow up with this person. There's some weird answers here. I mean, I think everyone's answering good faith, but I'm not sure I think I'd like to make a better answer. So let me save this one for later. It's complicated to explain this entire multiple tablets, multiple drivers issue. This person, sometimes, this is the Canvas Slate 10, which I don't recommend people getting. Oh, the only thing I can say here is, have you contacted Huion support? This is another reason, I'm going to be honest with you, why I generally don't recommend getting standalone tablets sometimes, is from smaller brands like Huion, XP Pen, etc. Because like support for these things is more complicated, right? Because these are much more complicated devices, and it's one thing if you're dealing with Samsung, which is a very big company, but if you're dealing with a small company, then I think things are a little bit harder to deal with. Let's see, this person has tablets stuck. Actually, instead of focusing on troubleshooting, I'm going to find on like recommendations. Because this is a shopping stream after all. I've decided between the Huion Canvas 16 Gen 3, Canvas Pro 16 V2, and the XP Pen Artist Pro 16 Gen 2. I would say... all three are pretty good. Pretty good. Good. The K16 and Gen 3 and the AP16. Hopefully you'll understand what I'm saying when I write this. Are the better choices. Because of their higher resolution. The pen for the K16 Gen 3 is better, though, in terms of pressure handling than the AP16 Gen 2 pen, which is the PW600 series, which is the X3 Pro series. Now, I'm glad this question is being answered because I actually do have a document I've been writing. Professional. Yeah, I actually compared professional pens recently. So I'm going to share this with you in the chat. If anyone has any feedback. Again, I just wrote this very quickly, so as it is when I write these things, they're kind of done very quickly and sometimes from voice to text. So there could be kind of weird errors. So please just let me know. This document I wrote may help. Okay. Someone here has a Canvas 13, which has been killing some USB hubs. So people are trying to sort this out. It looks like it's got 18 comments. So I'll check back in with this later. I'm very curious. Never heard anything like this. So I'll have to check back with that one later. Okay, so this person's still testing out their. Interesting. Huion 1060p stopped working after trying out Linux. Oops, I'm doing troubleshooting. I meant to do shopping. So it's in my head to just help everybody's having problems. I gotta remember, I'm focused on people trying to buy tablets tonight. Lots of people are having problems. The real problems will begin on Christmas Day, because then I'll have to go online, because too many people are gonna have problems. No signal problems, no connection problems with the driver. But man, everyone is. This one says Canvas 16 Gen 3. Yeah, let me just comment on this one. Since this is, by definition, a purchase question. My notes, this was 4 days ago. Hopefully it's still useful. It's on it. '16 Gen 3, yeah. Albert, hey, thanks. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Is there a way to to identify the exact model number of a Wacom pen? I couldn't find any markings. Yes, there is a way. There is a way. Okay. In fact, I have a doc for everything, so we'll show you. We'll look through the doc. There are many techniques. There are many techniques. Model name. I think it's called Find Pen. Finding the model number of your pen. Yeah, I have a doc here. Let's take a look here. Fantastic question, Albert. So, basically, there's one more here I didn't list. Now, let me add it, and we'll look through the docs. Tablet drivers. may have UI that implicitly identifies the pen. And we'll give an example. And I'll show an example. I don't have one right this very second, but we'll see if we can find one. And then tablet drivers may have a diagnostics UI that reveals the pen model number. So I actually do have, for example, diagnostics. And we'll take a look at this Huion. Let me copy this text here. C. UX. It's not the right link name, but it'll do for right now. And then I'll show you. Because it happens. It happens all the time. People need to know the name of the pen. But of course, how can you know the name of the pen if it's not written on the pen? Well, there's a solution. Okay, let's try the Huion case first. So how I have a Huion tablet. How do you know? Okay, we'll just show you. So the first thing is if you go to digital pen, oops, you don't see it. If you go to digital pen, now this won't tell you, right? There's nothing, but if you hover over these, it'll tell you, okay? Now also, this is just the diagnostic part. If you go here, there's usually, some pens have this. Let's just see. Software diagnostic, let's see if this does it. Oops, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want to run a new application. Shit, let me turn this off. No, don't run, don't run. Let's see. I wish they had some kind of debugging tool. Huion does have a debugging tool, but it's not part of the driver. I don't know why they do that. So in this Huion case, they don't know which pen you're using, I think. Or they do know to some level. But it's not like Wacom where they actually know the exact model number of the pen. And even the serial number. So here you can tell it's got to be one of these. And since these have different pictures, you can see that you can figure it out. Now with Wacom, as I recall, take a look here. Let's make it bigger. With Wacom, take a look at this. You go to About, Diagnose, Diagnostics, and you get this. And then you'll notice it actually says, when your pen is close, it says device name ProPen 3. And it actually shows the serial number, which is not the model number, but the serial number. So they can actually tell different units of pens, which is wild. Do they have any? Yeah, so from this, you can be able to tell the pen. Does that make sense? Let me know if you want to make that, if you need me to make that more clear, Albert. But I think that should, yeah, just open up the diagnostics for Wacom and you can see up here, it'll say the exact pen. You just got to touch it. Let's see. Nick, good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. Intuos Pro supports almost all pens, but original were Grip Pen, Pro Pen 2, and now Pro Pen 3. Grip. Intuos Pro supports almost all pens. Yes, correct. Okay, let us see what else we have here. Let me close some of these windows. I'm going to put a follow-up to myself, which is add UI screenshots to show where the pen model is located. So Huion has one example. Wacom has another example. Which is in Huion's pen settings. In Wacom, it was in diagnostics. Actually, also, well, there's actually multiple. There's diagnostics and in main setting, in the settings. I just didn't show you that because I don't have the Wacom driver installed. That's actually something I should give feedback for all pen manufacturers is please make it easy for people to tell the pen which pen is attached, right? It would just save so much time. Actually, while we're at it, what I'd really like to see is, obviously, how can I say this? I'd like that if I plugged in this tablet, I would almost like it to say, have an intro screen to the tablet and say, hey, here's what's compatible with the tablet, accessories, and the pen. So you actually have some frame of reference about the tablet itself that is available from the driver. You don't have to search on the internet for everything. Someone has a question on the Discord, which is PenTech 4.0 significant enough a difference to be worth it? I think so. Absolutely. I would say PenTech 4.0 is amazing. It's a yay. It is, and I don't mean the artist formerly known as Kanye West. It is definitely a yay. I like it a lot. It's sitting right in front of me, Nick. And I would say I'm enjoying the drawing experience. I haven't had a chance to like fully draw too much on it, but I've had a chance to use it for a little bit. And I think it's a solid delivery from Huion. I guess initially I was a little disappointed because, you know, it has the same shell as the old version, but I like it a lot. I really do. I like it quite a bit. And the PW600 pen it comes with works extremely well. Speaking of PW600, let me find this link. Someone in the Discord, PW600. I've learned this year to review the pens. Like you can't just review the tablet. You gotta review the pen. Let me paste it. Yes, it is a big improvement over PW 517. Okay, I pasted that in there. Let's check XP Pen. People have any buying questions? Remember, I'm not focusing on troubleshooting. I'm focused on buying today. Okay, this is a buying question. I'm left-handed. Is there anything I should know before I buy an XP Pen drawing tablet? Okay, so the good news is I have a document for this, which is called handedness. Handedness? Copy. Let's answer this person here. Yeah. See this. And this leads to an article on rotation of tablets as well. Yeah, it's linked from there. Okay. So, should not have a problem. Oh man. What's funny is I expected more questions from Reddit on buying tablets, but actually more people are just having problems. let's see this. Again, I won't do troubleshooting in this stream because it's about buying. Still. How to fix distortion. I've got an Artist Pro 16. Well, I'm gonna look at this one, so that's an important question. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at this later because the person gave advice, but I didn't fix it. Oh man, look at this. Okay, sorry. This is troubleshooting, trying to avoid troubleshooting. Everyone's having problems. At least people are answering. That's good. You know what? I just pasted this so this person knows. Okay. It's about left-handedness again. Wow. Okay, so while I'm just waiting here, I guess one thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna stream actually on December 25th. That will be a helping people set up their tablet stream because people are they're gonna be struggling. So let me just write this down on my schedule here. December holiday 7 Pens holiday schedule. Okay. So December 25th, I will be doing a stream, right? And this guy asks how. Someone wants to know how it compares. So let's just take a look here. Professional pen. I have a document for everything. There we go. Okay. That's what is great about Intuos Pro. Simpler and less stuff to break. I agree, Albert. I absolutely agree. Pen tablets are just better for being reliable. They just have fewer components. And so it's much better for reliability. So 25th, I'll be streaming on like setting up drawing tablet and Q&A because people okay, let me just take a look at the calendar here. What do we got? The 25th is on Thursday. So on the 24th, I'll do another like last minute shopping. You better have bought your tablet already. I will do that for at least 1 hour. And then I will probably do a January 1st stream, which is like, again, I think we'll do a year in review. A year in review. That'll be Friday night. Year in review. You know, we'll do a looking back, see what's going on. Now, January 1st is also when I'm planning on launching the new channel that's focused on communication. Okay. New channel, not focused. Still gotta pick the name. I am not, let me just to make it explicit, on December 31st, no stream. Not gonna do a stream on the New Year's Eve. I've already got plans. And no, I'm not partying or anything. I've just got some other thing to take care of. So let me just write down the word stream so everyone's really clear. I will be doing that. In review. Yeah, so at the very least, you will see two streams before the end of the year. I might do one on December 30th. Stream, maybe. We'll see. Okay, I need to take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Let's see. Albert says, I just posted my Lenovo Yoga 2-in-1 on Craigslist, hoping for a desperate last-minute Christmas shopper. It can happen. It can happen. Okay, yeah, so we're just looking at my schedule. Yeah, and I want to get some. I cannot tell you how late I am on videos. This year I did the few. Sorry, let me back up. I did the least amount of video making I've done on my channel in a couple of years, which is fine. I've been streaming much more, as you know, so I don't feel really bad about that, because when I get a new tablet now, I talk for several hours, and you see my raw. You see me test it live, which is the same testing I do when I do my pre-recorded videos. But I do realize that people do need the pre-recorded stuff, because it's it really is a burden to sit through 3 hours of me streaming about a topic. I thought about editing down the stream, like finding the snippets where I talk about things. But the truth is, as I'm interactively evaluating the tablets, the conversation, what I'm saying, and how I'm responding to you, they're not conducive to just chopping out sections cleanly that talk about, diagonal wobble is like this. It doesn't work that way. I wish it was. I probably would do it otherwise. But I need to find a way to accelerate my pace, and then also simplify how I do the reviews. One of the things that I struggle with is, how can I say this? I struggle with wanting to make sure that, I'm not trying to be a perfectionist about the videos, to be quite honest, but I go through so many scripts and editing, and that takes time. I'm trying to find a way where I can balance the spontaneity versus the structure, right? Which is one reason my videos that I pre-record rarely have my face in them, because that just increases the complexity of the work I have to do to edit it, right? Because not only do I have to worry about my voice, I have to worry about, was I blinking funny, or had a weird expression on my face, or, was my shirt not correctly buttoned up or something. But I'm maybe going to try that to be a little more spontaneous in the videos. And again, the purpose is not, and I'll put my face on it, and the purpose of that is not to put my face on it, and not to make it more engaging. It's actually just make it easier for me to get the content out. So we'll see how that works out. I don't know. I am super curious about it. And then, of course, I'm launching the new channel, right? Which is a totally different topic. Okay, let's see. What other... Surprisingly, not many questions about buying tablets. I don't know why. There's lots of people needing help, but not enough on buying tablets themselves. What is this? I haven't seen this. XP Pen Magic Notepad updated with a 1-year free subscription of MyScript Notes, Nebo app. Hi, Pumpkin Cat. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. We're just chilling out at this point. Looks like on Reddit, not many people are asking questions about buying tablets. It's all troubleshooting. Nebo. I'll take a look at this one later. Yeah, 4 hours is pretty long. Well, what happens is, nothing goes according to plan, which I don't mind, but, I have to unbox the thing. Sometimes the cables need to be worked out, and then people have questions. I also would like a more structured way of going through those unboxings and testing so that I can extract from them the data points that go into my final pre-recorded video. When I take a look at a video that the TO or Brad does, it amazes me that they're able to produce a video as fast as they can. I'm not saying it's easy for them, but the fact that they're able to do it is amazing because I feel like I'm not. My video capabilities are just not as good. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of questions about buying things. Just crazy. Right now, people should be just going crazy buying stuff. Let's just check. Well, I don't know. Okay. I'm not seeing too many questions on buying things, so I'll probably just wrap it up in a few minutes. Again, I will be doing, let me just take a look at my streaming schedule. December 24th, one more shopping stream. December 25th, I will be doing a setup stream, meaning a troubleshooting stream for people actually having troubleshooting help, needing troubleshooting help. I might do a stream on December 30th, maybe. Just out of boredom, really. December 31st, New Year's Eve, no stream. January 1st, I will be doing a stream. That'll be a year in review where we're looking back. It'll also be a look forward. What do we want? And then on January 1st, I'm also going to be launching a new channel. I'll probably discuss that during the New Year's Day stream. So we'll see. And yeah. Let's see, I'm looking at the Discord to see if there's anything. Yeah, it's a quiet season everywhere. Discord's been quiet today, at least now. I do wonder if people aren't buying because the tablets because of the economy. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, everyone, I think. Oh, let's see. Pumpkin, yeah, you can make a question, absolutely. Don't hesitate. Could I make a question? Yes. How far do you think the processor can stand in amount of layers and complexity on CSP? I'm not sure, Pumpkin Cat. I'm not a super heavy layers user myself. Like even on my 128 gigabyte PC, I might have 4 layers, 5 layers. I think you're talking about the moving pad, right? Not the moving. There was a review that talked about the number of layers, the 11-inch model. I can try it, but I'm not the best judge because, how layers consume memory. I don't think it's a good test just to create a bunch of layers. I think you'd have to create the layers and try to draw different things in each layer and see what happens. So it's not clear to me how far you can go in terms of number of layers or what it'll feel like if you have it's possible you might have a lot of layers but then the machine slows down. I don't know. I just don't know. I can do some more experiments. Maybe I have a very big drawing, an illustration, which is it's something like 4,000 pixels by 5,000 pixels, and it's so more than 4K, and it's I think got quite a number of layers. For me, that would be 10, maybe 15. I'll see how well it responds to that, right? Because if it's handled that, I'd be confident for my purposes, it would handle a lot. The other thing is, what are you doing in the layers? Are you using kind of difficult processor-intensive brushes? So, for example, I already noticed with the Moving Pad Pro 14, it was much better at handling 500 pixel brushes than the Moving Pad 11. That was very clear, right? So we'll have to see. I'll look for more information as well to see what people are. And I'll ask the Discord if they have any feedback. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream now, Pumpkin Cat. Thanks again for your question. We're just about to end the stream. Oh, man. You just woke up, huh? I'll hang out for a minute. That's okay. But yeah, we've been going for. This is supposed to help people buy stuff. Who knows? Maybe I'll stream again later in the evening. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit tired actually. But it's always good to see you, Blessing. I do appreciate it that you joined. Thank you, Pumpkin Cat. Thanks for asking the question. I do appreciate it. Okay, Pleasing, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to close down the stream. I am just so tired right now. Again, everybody, thanks for joining, and we will talk soon. Okay? And who knows, maybe I'll stream later tonight. Okay, everyone, have a great day. And if I don't see you, have a great Christmas. And that's the stream.